Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of The Backstory, where I'm going to be covering some insights into my new book, Everyday Superhero. My good friend and colleague at Duke, Sanyin Xiang, said that this book is a must-read. Charming characters and poignant humor reveal how Mae makes meaningful change. And that's what I was looking to do with this book, was to take a lot of the research, the most current research that talks about what makes change really happen in organizations, and try and personify it through a story. So today, in the first edition of The Backstory, I'm going to talk to you about the characters, I'm going to talk about the narrative, and I'm going to talk about the journey. So let's get right to it. With the characters, Mae B is the heroine. Maybe she's the heroine. Her sidekick is Practical. Future Mae comes through a wormhole from the future to enlist Mae B and Pratik on a hero's journey. Reason is the floor manager, and he's really the voice of the people. Trickster is the mentor, and he guides Mae and Pratik and the other everyday superheroes on their journey. Connect is the lowest person on the totem pole in the hierarchy, but ends up being the most important person because he has lots of connections within and outside the organization. Sapien is the head of HR, so she kind of sits between HR and the Mux, and so is kind of a bit of a pivotal character. And last, but certainly not least, is Noob, the intern, who brings a lot of expertise, particularly digital expertise, to the everyday superhero crew. Now, on the other page are the Mucks. The Mucks are obviously the villains, or the dark side. Chief Muck being the primary villain among all, who has a lot of interactions with Mae as they go through. Bucky Muck is worried about the Bucks, the financial officer. Dewey Muck wants to get stuff done. Techie Muck thinks technology can solve all problems. Stuffy Muck's worried about making sure we have all the stuff we need to do what we need to do. And Wizzy Muck is looking for breakthrough innovation on a constant basis. So the basic narrative device of this book is that Mae and Pratik and the other everyday superheroes are enlisted to go through a seismic shift in the organization at Doe. And at first, Muck imposes the Muck Immutable rule book upon them and has them apply it, letter, chapter, and verse, or each one of the 10 steps, and it's spectacularly unsuccessful. So in the middle of the story, Mae and the everyday superheroes shift from the kind of linear model, hierarchical model of the Muck Immutable rule book, and start applying a more people-centered model. So the model on the right there is essentially the academic framework that we use, but we bring it to life through a narrative. Now, you can't tell a story unless you have a backbone. And the backbone of this story, and how I'm going to present the rest of the backstory, is going through Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. So at the beginning, you start with an ordinary world. There's a call to adventure. There's a refusal to the call, meeting the mentor, then crossing the threshold, test allies, enemies, then the approach. That part of the book really tells the story of the challenges that Mae and the everyday superheroes had in applying the Muck Immutable rule book. Then with the ordeal and the reward, they shift to the other side and start applying the people-centered transformation approach. They have the road back, the atonement, and the return. And so if you want to learn more about the book and start going through each one, next up in the Backstory Edition 2 will be Ordinary World. Please join me so you can see what happens next.